Hello and welcome to a late night podcast. I haven't posted in probably about a week. I've been writing some things that I've been wanting to record, but I just haven't made time, I guess, which isn't really an excuse considering I wanted to be consistent this year. So here's another attempt at being a little bit more consistent and trying to help people out, um, including myself. So tonight I want to discuss 7 tips that can help you enjoy your journey more in life. So often we look at the end goals or, where am I going to be in 10 years versus just enjoying the daily journey through life's ups and downs. Um, Maybe it's your journey in school, maybe it's your journey in fitness, maybe it's your journey through a rough time in life. And sometimes you still got to take a step back and, really just look at the journey for what it is. Um, if you go on a vacation, it's funny because sometimes you don't think about the journey either. Like you're there, you should enjoy the moment, but 5 years from then or when the trip's done, you look at the pictures and say, man, that was so fun. Where'd time go? But if you just take a step back and, take that moment to actually enjoy the journey, smell the roses, things of that nature, then, we'll often be better off for that. Again, uh, so I guess I'll just hop into the first tip. The first tip for learning to enjoy your journey is learning gratitude. So oftentimes in life we um, forget to be grateful for what we have. Growing up on the west side of Indianapolis, had a son at a young age. Wasn't doing that awesome with jobs. I was in and out of jobs. One of my first big jobs, I was working at a carbon fiber shop, and I must have got fired like 3 times. And that's something that looking back, I'm just like, what a dummy I was. Where where did I you know where have I came from? So uh taking gratitude for where you're at today. I can't be mad with where I'm at today after 12 years in the Air Force. Got a pretty solid job, uh doing cool stuff with testing software and things of that nature. So got an awesome wife, 2 dogs, an awesome son, great friends out here. So sometimes we just need to take a step back and be grateful for what we have. Um, I know it's really popular these days to have a gratitude journal. If you take some time out of each day or a week, whatever you have time for, just write down things that you're grateful for. It'll help you kind of look at maybe where you're at and where you're at today. Number two tip is to nurture your friendships. Again, I mentioned I have great friends. I have friends stationed all around the world. I have friends back at home. You want to nurture those friendships, your personal relationships with your family members, with your spouse, with friends at work. These are people that will have your back in tough times. So when you add that to gratitude and you nurture and grow your friendships to not just a work acquaintance where you may say, hey, when you nurture that friendship, then that can help you. They can help you through your journey. So oftentimes in life we need help or we need someone to talk to, and nurturing those friendships where your friendships and your relationships are not just interaction based, but they're actually on a deeper level. So remember to take time and don't just take from a relationship, but also add to it. And I think that's both of these tips are something I struggle with very often. And so I like to do podcasts that really help me, I think, at least put my thoughts down on paper and then try to explain them to other people. Um, Number three is to live in the present. Again, I talked about that at the beginning. Often we just look at the end. You say, if I get this bachelor's degree or whatever it may be, then I'll get my dream job. And oftentimes, in school, that was like probably the most fun time of people that actually went to college's life, or back in high school or when you were a kid and you just said, man, I want to grow up and be an adult. And so Then you get there and you realize, as an adult, you got all these bills to pay and all these things. But how often do we say, man, I wish I was a kid again? It was so easy then. But at the time, you don't think to look at those things as a kid. You just don't have the mental capacity to say, wow, looking back, childhood was amazing. Obviously there's ups and downs in everyone's life, but take that step back to live in the present. What's your current goal? If it's a fitness goal, well, where are you at in that? You could be down 100 pounds, and then you're like, man, if I just get that extra 10 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it may be, then I'll be happy. But look at the progress you've made this far, whatever it may be, whether it's school, getting a new job, trying to get back in the workforce, uh, building self confidence, anything, anything like that. Um, Learn to forgive. Tip number 4: learn to forgive. Uh, I'm sure there's someone in your life, multiple people in your lives that you just held on to a grudge forever, and sometimes that negativity just builds and builds and builds, and we need to learn to forgive and move on. And honestly, if that's the kind of relationship that it was in the first place, I guess it's really not even worth your time or effort to think about it anymore. So they always say, I'll forgive, but I never forget. So you don't have to forget things that have been bad or people have hurt you in the past, but it's definitely easier to forgive and just try to move on. Move on with this uh, a clear mind and a clear heart. Tip number 5: read and listen to positive things. So I know, especially in this current day and age with all the crazy things going on in the world, war, famine, pestilence, you know, politics, all those crazy things. Um, we have to remember sometimes, like, I really started changing what I listen to on a lot of podcasts in the morning. One, I'll either listen to music or I actually started listening to a Bible verse in the morning. Um, listen to a positive podcast about personal development. You know, I think in the morning it's even more important, to wake up and you're in a new day. So listen to positive things, read positive things. You don't have to worry, you don't have to read about all the crazy wars going on around the world or, 5 years from now, what's going to happen. You can't, I guess you can't overanalyze things either. So, but if you focus on the positive versus the negative, and this again is something I need to work on, go down that rabbit hole of things that are just make you pissed off. So it's easier to try to put yourself in a positive mindset on a daily basis versus, buying into the agenda of other people's thoughts and actions and just being stuck in the world. Tip number 6: experience nature. So I know the last real vacation I went on was actually almost a year ago now, and it's kind of sad to say. Definitely need to get some booked, but I think it was one of the best vacations I had in a long time where we just, rented a cabin and just hung out. Like, I know we went to Yellowstone a couple years ago, and like just getting out in nature, it doesn't have to be that crazy. Just going for a walk, going for a hike, uh, going to the beach, enjoying the sunlight, getting out. We get stuck in our common lives, we get stuck, in cubicles and labs and work, warehouses, things like that. So, or classrooms, we get stuck in those and, we spend 40, 50 hours a week just in boxes. And it's like, or even you get off work and you come home and you just sit in your house. Like, uh, during the fall time, we like to do bonfires and, like to cook out, barbecue, getting out in nature, taking the dogs for a walk. Um, get out in nature whenever you can and probably do it more often than you do. So that's tip number 6. Tip number 7, uh, I guess, is finding your journey with God or finding your journey with whoever your higher power is. Like, just in general, trying to look spiritually inside of yourself and strive to be a better person. About 3 years ago, I started going back to church, and you know, definitely don't follow all the rules like I should. I cuss too much. I drink too much beer. I sometimes act like an asshole. But taking that day out of my week to go and try to re-coordinate, refocus my energy into at least that time, that present time to just breathe and try to develop a better relationship with God. Again, I understand that not everyone has a relationship with God or believe in God or anything like that, but whatever your spirituality is, even if it's just meditation, find that inner peace in yourself. Again, these are 7 tips to you know um, kind of refocus on your journey of life, because it's not about the end goal. Because I mean, everyone's end in life is death. So we got to take a time. We got to take time off and a step back and really, you know, learn to enjoy the journey. So I hope everyone has a great night, and hopefully this podcast finds you well. Peace out.